This is Rock and Roll English. Real people, real English. Here's your host, Martin Johnston.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Rock and Roll English, episode number 199, baby. Oh yeah. In today's episode I speak to Clarification Charlie. Yes, we have a female back on the show, thank God. And we speak about how to deal with excitement, because I cannot tell you how excited I am for the episode 200 Rock and Roll English party. Okay, remember, you are all invited, and it is on Saturday the 23rd of May, so the next Saturday. Today is Monday, so the Saturday coming at 4 p.m. Italian time. Okay, there is a link to the call in the previous podcast, also on the website if you go to rockandrollenglish.com/party. Remember, I need someone to celebrate with. I can't have this party alone, okay? I know it would be funny and a great story to tell that I tried to arrange a birthday party and no one came, but I just don't think I'm strong enough to handle that, okay? It could push me over the edge. So when you push someone over the edge, it's when they're near to falling off something, okay? And you just give them that little push to fall. I could fall off, okay? So yes, 4 o'clock Saturday, the 23rd of May at 4 p.m. Italian time. Find the link in the previous podcast or rockandrollenglish.com/party. Anyway, I will speak to you all again at the end for the rock and roll vocabulary. Here is the conversation. Happy listening. Clarification Charlie, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you, Martin. How are you?
Always fantastic. Always fantastic. Even more fantastic, I'm finally speaking to a woman on this podcast.
I know, it's been a long time, hasn't it?
It has been a long time. I was thinking episode 200 is coming up, so it's fast approaching. In fact, it's actually next week. And then I thought, I haven't spoken to Clarification Charlie in a while. One of the few people that was around for the first 100.
Thank you. Yeah, I know. It has been a very, very long time. But I've been enjoying listening to the new people coming and going over the past few weeks.
Coming and going, but you're like one of the rocks, Clarification Charlie. You're at the base of the house, okay? You're keeping the house. We've got PT Teej. He's at the top. He could fall. A strong wind, he might fall off the house. You're the base of the house.
Or the foundation.
Okay? There we go. That's the word I was looking for, the foundation. Anyway, although it's been a long time, do you remember how we start the show?
Yes, we start with a review.
Oh, yeah, baby. Do you think we have a review?
I'm going to say yes.
Oh, and you are correct.
Yes.
And it is from Katerina Raychenko. As always, apologies for the pronunciation. And it says, "Hi, Martin. My name is Katerina. I'm from Kiev, Ukraine. I've been listening to your podcast for a couple of months." Lovely, present perfect, continuous there. Yeah. "Without doubt, it's become my favourite podcast. Always interesting, hilarious and invigorating. Ooh. It really goes down a storm with English learners around the world." Nice rock and roll vocabulary. If it goes down a storm, it's like really well received, let's say. "Despite the fact I've been learning English for quite some time, I'm still getting to grips with listening and understanding native speakers, especially in group conversations. Your lesson with Cara was extremely useful for this purpose. Thank you very much. Being confined at home under quarantine is weighing on our mind. Rock and Roll English definitely keeps our spirits up. Highly recommended. Thanks, Martin, Dan the Man, Clarification Charlie, Boom Boom Cannon, Corporal Coma, PT TJ, the Hellraiser. Keep on rocking." Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. What a lovely, lovely review.
Indeed. You got a mention there as well?
I did. I quite like that, actually. I was quite high up the list as well. I really enjoyed that. I was ahead of Boom Boom.
You were. In fact, she did it in the perfect order of people that have been on the podcast. I bet when I started listing the names, you were thinking, "Oh, fuck, I really hope my name's on there."
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, yeah, thank you for that review. So, Clarification Charlie, do you know what we're talking about today?
I don't, and it always makes me nervous.
Just relax, okay? Relax. Deep breath. So because episode 200 is next week, you know, the excitement is building. In fact,
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it.
so it is difficult to hide my excitement, as I'm sure you can tell by the tone of my voice. But so I thought let's look at some tips to see how to deal with excitement, okay? Just to try and keep calm. Because, you know, if you've got something coming up soon and you're excited, listen to this podcast and you'll have some tips, okay? Excellent. The first one is do meditation. Have you ever done that? Clarification, Charlie?
I have actually. Yeah. I've done meditation on and off. I'm
laughing already.
I do.
So some nice rock and roll vocabulary, on and off. So for a bit, yeah, and then for a bit, no. I can imagine you do it for a bit and you think, oh, I'm so cool, I'm so spiritual. And you think after a while, actually, this is a load of shit.
It was mainly to do like with yoga. It kind of comes like hand in hand. So when you go to yoga classes, it kind of all sort of connects in with that. So that's when I've done it, but I haven't done it for a long time.
So it goes hand in hand. They go together. Just come as one spiritual being. So what happened to yoga then? You knocked that on the head, I suppose. So if you knock something on the head, you don't do it anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of the being working mother sort of allows you to, or sort of takes away, shall we say, the ability to go to such classes now. So less meditation time, more.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, crazy head spinning times.
I can imagine. When you've got a 3-year-old, there's no time for spiritual meditation. Can you imagine that your child's just like running around? Just be quiet, okay? Mummy's just doing some meditation.
Yeah, it's just self-medication now, actually. More
very
the point.
Good. Yeah, very good. Well, you might be surprised to hear that I also have tried meditation in the past. But I must admit, after a few minutes, I just sort of think, well, they say like concentrate on your breath, and all I'm thinking is, what the fuck am I doing? It's difficult to get that thought out of my head. There's a quote that I read once where it said, always read something that will make you look good if you die in the middle of it. Okay, so just read books so if you have a heart attack, you've got a cool book, and they think, well, at least he was reading a cool book. And that's what I kind of live my life by, okay? So when I'm sitting there meditating, I think, if I die now, I'm going to look like a right dickhead.
You might look really cool to some people, though.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that's why as well, because I like that quote. I've got lots of books on my bookshelf where I think, I'm never going to read that. I'm never going to read, but it looks good. You have someone come around and they see one of your intelligent books and you're like, yeah, I've read that.
Not like the autobiography of like, I don't know, Ian Rush or something like that.
I don't know if everyone's familiar with Ian Rush. You're showing your age there. He's a very old footballer.
I know, but he had a quality moustache. So
he did have a quality moustache. So another thing here is to think about other great times ahead. Okay, so don't think about whatever you've got coming soon. Think about something else, because then you won't be concentrated on the next thing. So what about you, clarification, Charlie? Any great times ahead for you?
Well, it's my birthday next week, so that is
your 50th
thing.
Or
oh, shut up. No, mid-30s birthday.
Okay.
And so there's that to look forward to, and then I don't know, I suppose it's really hard at the moment to think of other things because we don't know what we're doing.
Well, there's not a lot in the world to look forward to, I think, at the moment. Everything I read, it just says like this virus could be around for 4 years. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic.
It's been 4 months and it's too much, isn't it?
Exactly. I also saw something, though, that said, if you think the world is bad now, just think in 20 years' time, the world will be governed by children that have been homeschooled by alcoholics. So because homeschooling is quite a thing at the moment. My brother, for example, is trying to do this. He gets sent work by teachers, and then Yeah, he says like he spends about 4 hours preparing something, and then his children finishing it in 5 seconds, and say like, "Now what are we doing?" So you've been doing homeschooling, I suppose. You're a teacher though, so it's fine.
Yeah, well, I've been providing lessons, but my daughter's a bit too young for homeschooling. She doesn't really do school as such. She does like playing with toys, which is a bit easier for me to manage, shall I say, rather than some of the kind of hard like phonics and things that people are doing at the moment with their children.
Yeah, absolutely.
Luckily, I haven't got to do any maths other than let's count the blocks. I think I can just about manage that one.
Yeah, just about count the blocks. It is difficult counting those blocks, counting up to 10. I remember when I was a child actually, and it was like how cool you were depended on like what number you could count up to. So I was like, yeah, I can count up to 27, baby. Have some of that. Not 28. That's a bit difficult, but 27, I can do that. I can do that. Yeah. And the next day, I'll be like, yeah, I can go up to 52 now, baby. Have some of that.
Yeah, it's always a good one, isn't it? Yeah.
So another one here is have a wash so you feel clean. So you're excited. So just have a nice, deep wash and just feel clean. Which again is a sort of common thing at the moment now. Washing hands is quite common. Well, I went to the supermarket the other day and Mrs. Rock and Roll English made me put on those gloves, like those rubber gloves. And so I put them on. It's the first time I think in my life I've ever put those gloves on. And I just sort of felt like they're the kind of gloves someone wears when they put, like a doctor puts their finger up your ass. And all I was thinking of was I could put my finger up my ass now. Whilst I was going around the supermarket, just doing the weekly shopping, thinking about that.
Oh, let's have a little scratch. There you go. Now pick up some bread.
Yeah, exactly. They had a really strange smell to them, these gloves. I don't know if they'd been used before when someone else had done that with them. I don't know, but they had a strange smell. It was a strange situation, I tell you. Shopping and thinking about fingers in arses is not a good combination, believe me.
No, not really.
So the next one you're going to like, I'm sure. So you're excited. You need to calm down. Play with animals.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
How's it going with your dog on lockdown?
He's okay, thanks. He's doing all right.
I wasn't actually asking how is the dog. I was saying like how are you? Is that a question? Do people ask other people how is your dog?
Yeah,
like, if I see someone, like I see you and I say, how's Mr. Clarification Charlie? Like how's your little girl? I would never say to anyone, how is your dog?
Oh, you have to. Like Hugo's part of the family.
He's feeling a bit depressed at the moment. He's just.
You joke though. I'm sure we've had this conversation before because he became agoraphobic.
Sorry. What does that mean?
It means when you're scared to go outside.
Oh God.
True story.
We've not had this conversation, but we're about to. Explain to me how you discovered that. Did you take the dog to a psychiatrist, or what? How did you?
It's actually really sad, and basically, I was back.
I'm crying at the moment because I'm so sad thinking about this poor dog.
I went back to my parents' house in the southeast, and there was like a shoot going on, like a hunt.
Okay.
And there were lots of guns going off, and
because that's what posh people do. Okay, remember Clarification Charlie is posh, so they. Yeah. Oh yes, I'm going out with my gun today. Yes.
I personally don't, but yeah, around us, around in the neighbourhood, people were, and the guns obviously make a really loud noise, and the dog got really scared, and it was a shoot that went on, like a hunt went on for like a couple of days, and it basically completely traumatized him, and he was terrified to go outside. But now, and this is what's really hard, and it's honestly taken us months and months to get him kind of well enough to go out for walks. But now if he hears any noise, any bang, so if someone's doing a bit of DIY and hammering like a nail into a bit of wood, he literally either like will drop to the ground and shake, or like just tail turns in under and he bolts.
So when he bolts, he just starts running. basically.
Tries to run home or do something, and
Wow.
he just is terrified. Yeah,
Wow.
so he was all right, but
But
since
how
lockdown,
okay.
everyone's doing DIY all the time. So whenever
Okay.
we try and go out, he gets a bit nervous again.
Sure, maybe he should listen to this podcast to try and sort of deal with that excitement. So
Oh,
DIY,
maybe.
so do it yourself. So like work that you do at home. I did not know that dogs could suffer from that. Who
Yeah.
told you that was who diagnosed that? So when you diagnose it, that's when someone tells you what the problem is.
Our vet, so it's like they have like
Okay.
a dog psychiatrist.
Shut up.
No,
Are you
they're
serious?
No, yeah, and they're quite expensive as well.
So wait, tell me, you're telling me that you paid for a psychiatrist for your dog?
Well, he was really traumatized. Like he wouldn't go outside.
How does it work? Psychiatrists talk, don't they? That's all they do. Dogs don't talk.
I know, but you talk through what's happening and you talk through like how he's behaving, and I suppose they're called a dog behavioralist.
So the psychiatrist is for you, not the dog.
Well, yeah, but it's a dog behavioralist. I bet we call them like a dog psychiatrist because
Okay. Wow. That's all
I
I'm
know.
going to say.
And
Wow.
also he hasn't had a haircut. He's like poodle, and so his fur's gotten really, really long, and now it's getting really hot. And obviously the dog groomer's not working, so now we've got a
poor
very
dog.
hairy dog that's scared to go outside.
Yeah. Well, welcome to my world, okay? Because I'm very hairy and I haven't had my haircut in, I think, about since September.
Oh
Okay.
my goodness!
So, we've all got this problem. Clarification, Charlie mentioned his fur, though. That's like what we call the hair of the dog. Speaking of dogs, though, I was at Mrs. Rock and Roll English's family house the other day because some restrictions have been lifted here now. So you can go and see family. We went there. Her little dog was running around, started running up my leg. I don't know if it's trying to have sex with my leg. I don't know what it's doing. And I want to try and kick it away, but I feel bad. And then the dog sneezed on my leg, and I was just like, "Oh my god, that is fucking disgusting!" And everyone laughed, and I was like, "Is this really? Is this funny though? Is this funny?"
Why is it always? It's always you. Always you.
Oh god, it made me feel honestly sick. Luckily, I wasn't wearing shorts or anything, so it didn't touch skin. But I said to Mrs. Rock and Roll English, those trousers, burn them, okay? Burn them. Don't wash them, burn them. I never, ever want to touch those trousers again, okay? Absolutely terrible.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So, we do have another one here, which is do exercise when you're excited, just to get those endorphins flowing and stuff like this. Like when you were doing yoga. Have you been doing much exercise at the moment?
I've been doing little bits here and there. I've not actually been doing a huge amount, to be honest.
Yeah.
Go out for like dog walks and stuff like that. So we do get out.
But what happens when you want to go out for a walk and the dog's like, "No, I'm too scared"? What do you do there?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. So normally we get to the end of the drive and then turn around and come back. And then
So the drive, by the way, just so people know, in England, lots of people have like drives or driveways. Is the bit outside the front of your house where you leave a car? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you walk to the end of the drive and then you walk back. A long walk, lots of exercise. That, yeah.
No. Sometimes I have to obviously take my daughter out as well, so we might do that as well instead. So yeah, that's kind of what it is. It depends where we go. If we go to we're quite lucky. If we go out our back gate, we're kind of back onto sort of fields, so we can take Hugo out there where he doesn't come into contact with other loud noises.
Hugo, by the way, is the name of Clarification Charlie's dog. You're just dropping it in there like, oh, everyone knows the name of Clarification Charlie's dog. Who doesn't know Hugo? It's the most famous dog in the world.
Oh, he should be. He's awesome.
Well, I think he will be now because he's the dog that's got a psychiatrist.
I know. Oh, he's such a complicated poodle as well. He's so complicated. He's minefield.
So complicated. So speaking of exercise, I was at the beach the other day with Mrs. Rock and Roll English. So we went there, put our bags down and then did some exercise and then had a bit of a swim and then we kind of embraced each other. So embraced each other, kind of hugging. beautiful sunshine, looking at the sea, and I thought, oh, this is amazing. And then I just sort of looked up, and then this big wave come, and then I could just see my bag and everything in it just floating away. And I thought, oh, for fuck's sake. That's one way to ruin a moment, believe me. We're like, oh, this is amazing. Oh, for fuck, like my phone, shit, my phone's in there.
Honestly, that your luck is just hilarious.
Tell me about it. So yes, but I briefly mentioned to you in our pre-chat though, because we are allowed to go to the beach here, but you have to be seen swimming if you go in the water. It's crazy. Just in case anyone's looking, I'm moving my arms. Like just give me a break.
Keep paddling.
Okay, keep paddling. Yeah. So paddle. Yeah, it's like when you can't really swim, like what dogs do, kind of thing. When they swim. Does your dog go in the water, or is it scared to do that as well?
No, he's fine with rivers and stuff. He doesn't mind that. He doesn't mind going in the sea either, to be honest. But yeah, he does like water. He is a water boy.
Thank God for that.
I know.
Okay, thank God. Anyway, thanks for this clarification, Charlie. You've made me much more aware of how to deal with excitement now. Okay,
and traumatized dogs.
Well, I've learned something. As I always say, every day is a school day. I did not know that psychiatrists for dogs exist, but now I do. Okay, so I'm a richer person after this podcast.
Excellent.
Okay, thanks as always for your time.
You are very welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so that was me speaking to Clarification Charlie about how to deal with excitement. There wasn't actually that much rock and roll vocabulary, probably because we were both so excited about the Rock and Roll English party, which, remember, is on Saturday at 4 p.m. Italian time. Anyway, we did have some vocabulary, though. I said at the beginning, episode 200 is coming up. So when something is coming up, it's fast approaching. In the review, we had it goes down a storm. So if something goes down a storm, it's really well received. Maybe you bring some food to a party and you can say it went down a storm. Everyone ate it. Clarification Charlie said she does meditation on and off. So sometimes yes, sometimes no. And then she said how meditation and yoga go hand in hand. So they're two things that come together, like bread and butter. They go hand in hand. And then we were talking about her dog, her famous dog, Hugo. And she said when he gets scared, he just bolts. So he just runs a lot. He just bolts. And we had DIY, which, remember, is do-it-yourself jobs around the house. And then I asked her who diagnosed this condition for your dog. So when you diagnose something, is what doctors do. They diagnose illnesses. We had the word fur, which is the name of the dog's hair. We also had the word drive, which obviously you know the verb to drive a car. But a drive, or the full word, is a driveway, which is the name of the place at the front of people's houses in England where you leave your car. It's a driveway. I then mentioned that I embraced Mrs. Rock and Roll English on the beach. So when you embrace someone, you hug them. And then we had the word paddling. So when you paddle, it's when you don't really know how to swim. In fact, that's how dogs swim, as I mentioned. In fact, we call that type of swimming doggy paddle. So just think of a dog swimming, and that technique of swimming is called paddling. Okay. Anyway, remember, all of the rock and roll vocabulary is on the website, rockandrollenglish.com/episode 199. I will see you all on Saturday for the big party. Remember, 4 o'clock Italian time. It will be on Zoom. You basically just need to click a link and then you can come and just enjoy the party vibes, really. Anyway, thank you everyone for listening. I will see you all again on Saturday. But in the meantime, just keep on rocking, baby.
Thanks so much for listening to Rock and Roll English. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit rockandrollenglish.com and facebook.com/rockandrollenglish. We'll catch you next time.